Just when you thought Paul Feig's Ghostbusters remake was done for and the controversy surrounding it would gradually fade back into obscurity, Leslie Jones was the victim of a cyber attack. Her personal details, as well as some fairly explicit nude pictures, were posted on her own homepage of all places. In this editorial, I'll talk a little bit about the events that led up to that, the Ghostbusters connection, and the general importance of placing blame where blame is due. As we've covered at length earlier here at Midnight's Edge, the Ghostbusters reboot has been an object of controversy since the moment word got out that it would be a female-centric remake instead of Ivan Reitman's Ghostbusters 3, the movie that fans had always wanted. The single most controversial character in the movie would turn out to be Patty Tolan, the rebooted Winston Sedmore character, played by Leslie Jones. The controversy began with Patty, the only black member of the team, also being the only one without a degree or university position. It should be noted that this was more or less the case with Sedmore too, as the character was supposed to represent the average working guy joining a startup, not so much because he believed in it heart and soul, but because he really needed the paycheck, and he was in no position to pick and choose between job offerings. He had bills to pay and probably a family to support, which is something many can identify with. This was of course intentional. Sedmore was just an ordinary guy, and as such did not express any excessive behavior stereotypically associated with any particular group, meaning anyone who could relate to his situation could also relate to him, regardless of ethnicity. The intention behind Patty Tolan was much the same, but instead of being general enough that general audiences could identify with her, the marketing campaign made it appear as if Patty embodied virtually every negative stereotype of black women. Rather than someone every woman working 9 to 5 could identify with, the movie's marketing campaign made Patty look like something of a racist caricature. I stress that it was the marketing that gave off this impression. Leslie Jones actually delivered a far more nuanced performance in the movie itself, but as we already covered, not all that many saw the movie, which ended up flopping worldwide, meaning the first impression left by the Ghostbusters marketing campaign is the one that stuck. And so, Ghostbusters thrust Leslie Jones into the limelight. The controversy took off for real when the first trailer hit. That would be the trailer which would turn out to be the most disliked trailer of all time, and which has now crossed 1 million dislikes. Congratulations. When that trailer was released, director Paul Feig and the cast that have a profile on social media, which Leslie Jones does, were flooded with hate. Unlike the others, however, the hate aimed at Jones was often racist in nature, which is pretty messed up. The vitriol sent her way came and went in waves, but escalated to a new level on July 19th. That's when a feud between her and Breitbart editor Milo Yiannopoulos attracted others that also chimed in. While Yiannopoulos himself didn't say anything racist, many of the others involved did stoop to those levels. Jones ended the evening in tears, but director Paul Feig, the other Ghostbuster actresses, other celebrities and users on Twitter would all speak out in Jones's defense. In the aftermath of this incident, Milo Yiannopoulos ended up permanently banned from Twitter, despite not actually having said anything racist himself. This did not sit right with a lot of people, especially seeing as Leslie Jones also has a past history of posting comments with racial content. This all goes somewhat beyond the scope of what we cover here at Midnight's Edge, so I'll refer those of you wanting more details to our comrade Mundane Matt. On August 24th, things escalated again. That's when Leslie Jones' website was hacked and explicit nude photos from her iCloud account were posted there, along with images of her passport and driver's license. But she's probably more upset by the former. This isn't the first time this has happened, of course. Nude pictures of Jennifer Lawrence, Hope Solo, and many others were also swiped from their respective iClouds and posted online in the infamous event dubbed The Fappening way back in 2014. But this time, Leslie Jones, and Leslie Jones alone, was targeted. Like before, Paul Feig, other celebrities, fans, and many more stood behind and supported Leslie Jones. That still leaves the question though. Who is responsible for the cyber attack committed on Jones, and why did they do it? One theory is that the attack was spurred on by the Twitter feud a few weeks earlier, which left Milo Yiannopoulos permanently banned from the platform. No one has blamed Yiannopoulos personally for the attack, and in its aftermath, he expressed what appeared to be genuine distress over the situation, as well as sympathy towards Jones. Of course, that doesn't rule out that some of Breitbart's more extreme sympathizers, who did engage in racist exchanges back then, didn't take things even further this time. Others seem to be of the opinion that the quote-unquote racist, misogynist, baby men Ghostbusters fans are to blame. Those prone to this line of thinking were quick to respond that all movies Ghostbusters fans grew up with should be remade, and all of them should star Leslie Jones. At this time, it is unknown exactly who hacked Leslie Jones' webpage or what motivated it. Regardless of the reason, however, it would appear that the controversy surrounding the Ghostbusters is not yet over. The Lannisters always pay their debts, and for the Starks, winter is coming. My motto is, pick your battles. Even if I don't know who is behind the attack or what the motivation was, it is my opinion that this was one battle which should not have been picked. In essence, this was but a mean-spirited attack on one individual. However, it is only logical to assume that attacking her was merely instrumental in attacking something else the perpetrator is of the opinion that she represents. This something else could be some specific political or race-related attitudes. It could be about remakes, it could be about female empowerment, or it could be about something else entirely. At the time of making this video, we simply do not know. But in any event, Leslie Jones would be a well-known but ultimately unimportant goal. If the attack was politically motivated, it was launched against someone of very little influence in the bigger scheme of things. Yet it will have the byproduct of creating more division in a time when healing is needed. If the attack was indeed motivated by her participation in a female-centric remake of a classic, which I don't think it was and certainly hope it wasn't, then all that was achieved was harming an entertainer who did nothing but seize an opportunity handed to her. That is not a crime which warrants the scorn her participation in the movie has yielded. One of the things we hope to achieve here at Midnight's Edge is to create greater transparency in the politics behind filmmaking, so that both credit and blame can be assigned where they are due, instead of on scapegoats bound by NDAs. In the case of the Ghostbusters remake, there is no point in blaming Leslie Jones, or indeed any of the other actresses. They were cast by director Paul Feig. If they had declined, he would have made the same movie with someone else. Are the actors then to blame? Paul Feig was free to make the movie exactly the way he wanted, but he was given that freedom by Amy Pascal, who killed Ivan Reitman's Ghostbusters 3 because Feig's vision was more to her liking. Is Feig then to blame? Amy Pascal, however, was given free reins to make Ghostbusters the way she saw fit, while Sony Pictures CEO Michael Linton looked the other way. Is her recent failures then her or his fault? Point being, the responsibility for the movie lies higher up. With or without Leslie Jones, there would have been a female-centric Ghostbusters remake, and with or without Leslie Jones, there would have been a Patty Tolan-like character in it. The moral of the story is, don't blame Leslie Jones for the Ghostbusters remake. If it hadn't been her, it would have been somebody else. Granted, there are many who have issues with how Leslie Jones chooses to interact with those critical of her, as well as some of her past comments. But sometimes, just letting it go is the best course of action. When you save something on iCloud or any other cloud service, that actually means you are saving your files on someone else's hard drive. Many phones will even do this automatically, without asking you. For many types of files, especially those that aren't too secret and need to be shared with others anyway, that is all good and well. But before snapping nudes of yourself and/or your significant other, you might want to ensure that cloud saving is disabled. Just saying.
If you like this video, please hit that subscribe button. Join us for spin-free news and analysis of the happenings and corporate politics behind the scenes of your favorite genre movies, as well as explorations of your favorite characters and their backgrounds and context here at Midnight's Edge.